Well, we're gonna see what we got here. Get the steering wheel off of this thing. I don't know what size that is. That's probably a 13/16, I guess, not a 7/8. Alright, back again. A mail person came, dropped off some packages. He's really adamant. Well, I don't have. It ain't mine. 87 Honda CRX sitting here. It's been here. Well, it was the wife's first car. And it gets a lot of attention. A lot of attention. Which, I don't know, maybe just seems like they're really, I don't know. I guess they're a popular car, but it's a fun car, little car. Bone stock. I painted it years ago, but he seen it the other, I don't know, about a month ago, I guess, and he asked me if it was for sale, and I go, no, not really. And I did it again today. Asked me if I wanted to get rid of it, and I go, no, not really. But anyways, I don't know. They're not really that hard to find, but I have a feeling he wants it for nothing, and I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sell you a car that runs and drives for nothing, and there's really nothing wrong with it. I know when I painted it, they I had to put a windshield in it, and I had the windshield people come out, and they said, well, you should strip it and turn it into a race car. And I didn't quite understand why you would strip something and turn it into a race car when there was nothing wrong with it. But I guess whatever. I guess what I'm really trying to do is I'm going to try to get down in here and see. Whoops. See. What it'd take to get to this turn signal switch. I would have thought there was a clip down there. I guess there is. You can push down on that freaking thing to get that up. To see what it'd take to get to that turn signal switch. And I don't know if that's got to be plastic. That ring has to go right on that. That's probably why that one over there, I think it's the one on that 91 series is plastic too. But I was wondering if I just if I just notch that plastic so this would sit down in there. Clamp it in. I just take and notch that out around there. But the biggest problem is, I think if you did that, it's going to lose all integrity right here and probably try to collapse. But I was thinking if I could get this thing down to this turn signal switch, so I can at least replace the turn signal switch in this one if I'm going to use this steering column. Or it's quite the interesting deal. I mean, the steering wheel, their steering column itself is actually, the tilt part's pretty good, pretty solid. It's actually solid. It ain't even flopping. Well, I know there's a little C clip in there, which I guess if you push down on that, I guess that's why that tool's in there. You keep those tools, you put it on here and then you push it down. I don't have that tool. Push down on it and then you release it. Well, I guess the first thing to do is see if the adapter will actually go to this steering wheel before we go too deep in it, huh? So this is actually what the system sits on. And this horn thingy is right in the way. Looks like the splines are the same, but that thing's in the way. I really don't know why, unless it was shot and they decided to they must have decided it was shot and they just replaced it with this one, I'm guessing. Because obviously it's not the right one, because it's got the automatic transmission thingy here, which this didn't have because it's over here. So I guess that needs to get out of there. I guess I'll pull that. Well, I guess let me pull this off, see if I can get this pressed out of here and pull that clip out of there and get this off so I can get down in there and get some, see what I got. Because as of right now, I don't got nothing. I can't even put that on there. I guess I could just break it off, but I really don't want to. So hang on a minute, I'll be right back. Well, I know this isn't the way to do it, but this is the way it's going to come off apart, and then I'll have to probably build something to push this freaking thing back on. See if I can stab myself. Well, that's not the way to do it, but that's the way we're doing it. Oh, that's out of there. Now, wonder how you get that out of there. Take a screwdriver and pull that out, you think? That's the only other option I have. Look. What do you think the odds of me just drilling a hole right through this thing and putting a bolt in it? And then cutting this off. I could do that. There's room in here, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. Like I could just cut. I could cut this all off. I'd cut it off right here, drill a hole here, drill a hole here, drill a hole in here and just bolt the thing in there. But I believe that's what we're gonna do, because I don't really feel like cutting another one down, being it's already mounted in here. And I know for a fact after I take that off, this thing should slide right down on that. Yeah, that bolt's on there, so that part's the same. The only difference is the outside of the column. I believe that's what we're gonna do. Get some machine screws and just thread it in, just drill a hole right through the plastic here. Now I know why my brother said that if you clamp that one on that one so tight that it starts screwing things up in here. Well, I can see why now, because you're smashing the plastic. So I think that's what we're gonna do, so I will be back with you. Well, I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a sleeve to go on the steering column instead of cutting the bracket that holds it and drilling holes. So I'm going to put this sleeve on there so I can step it out and then put the bracket and clamp it around this and bolt this to the steering column. That way I don't ruin that bracket. So that's what I'm doing. Got this piece of aluminum here that I'm going to true up, turn it down to the right size on the outside, and then I'll probably turn it down on the inside to clear all the stuff inside so it doesn't hit anything inside, and then I'll notch the one end and around everything inside the in the steering column. So here we go. Well, we got it machined. Kind of screwed up a little bit, but oh well, it'll probably work. So now all I gotta do is notch this. I was thinking one way, but I'm gonna do it the other way now. So I'm gonna notch this out around the steering or the turn signal bulge, and then just bolt that thing right on there like so. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. You guys are about to die, so I'll show you when I get done here. Well, it's Tuesday morning. I got my parts, some of my parts yesterday. They failed to order 2 more, so yesterday it was raining and windy and miserable. Today it's just windy. I don't know, it's blowing. I don't know, probably gonna, they say it's gonna start blowing pretty hard here, probably up to 110, 140 miles an hour wind, somewhere in there, you know, I don't know, somewhere. So I decided to work inside today. I got enough parts to start turning stuff down to make my couplings. So I guess that's what I'm going to be doing today, being that's time consuming that it is. So I am cutting the flange part of this U-joint or yoke apart off, because I'm going to turn this down so it slides inside of this. That is a 2 1/8 inch bore with a key in it. So I am going to put these splines inside of that and key it in there, because to get that coupler with splines on it is really expensive, and this is cheaper. And then on the other end is when the splines wears out, you just put new splines in it and save the rest of it. So that is what we're gonna do. So there's part of it. So I gotta do this one. This one here goes on to the PTO gearbox, and then I am gonna take this. I got 2 of these. This one here and this one here. I'm going to take both of those and turn them down. That is a 1 3/8" 21 spline adapter that goes from 1 3/8" 21 spline female to 1 3/8" 21 spline male. I have no idea why you'd ever have to need one of these. The only thing I guess this is for is to extend out your PTO. But in my case, I need that part. So I am going to turn this down, and it's going to do the same thing. It's going to go inside this with a key, One part's for the hydraulic pump, and the other one's for the hydraulic motor. So that is what we're doing today. So let me get this stuff chucked up in the lathe, and I got the heater going because it's cold outside. I'll get this chucked up in the lathe and start doing some turning. So be back. Now that I've been wandering around the shop for a while looking for my calipers, maybe I can finish this thing now. Well, I think I'm gonna hold off right there. I'm a little shy. I'm a little off. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I am going to heat that up and push this in there and let that fucker cool down around it. So that's what I think we're gonna do. I'll get a key put in that, and there's one. So 2 more to go. I got so far here. So I think I got my tensioner made, and the bracket for the front of the engine's done. So what I did to line this up is I bolted this plate to the front of the pulley on the crank to line all these pulleys up on this thing. So I got it pretty even across here. It is a little bit in that way a little bit, but I can slide this out on this, so that's not a big deal. The problem is with these pulleys is as you tighten them up, they're going to want to pull outwards. They're not going to want to pull in. So therefore that bottom one's going to keep going out the tighter you get it. So I might try to figure out some way of holding that thing up tight against everything so it doesn't keep pulling out, because I don't want it to go towards the radiator any further than it is. So I put a gusset in here. I was kind of debating on what to do there. Either go flat. Basically this is just to keep this plate from flexing and going that way as you tighten it down, because that's what it's going to want to do. I put that 1-inch plate is going straight down and bolting down in there, right there. So my tensioner, so if I loosen this up, this will slide. Where'd my wrench go? Oh, well, it's not 3/4, but we're going to use a 3/4 anyways. So this slides like so to tighten up that belt. So that's how that's going. So that's how we're tightening. I'm going to put a rod. I don't know, I was thinking I'd put a rod in here to pull against that back, pull it out and tighten it up so we can tighten it up, but the bracket for the radiator support goes right here and I might be hitting it, so I'll have to get the radiator support in here and see where I can and can't put that. That was the deal. Is going to come right here, probably weld the bracket right on here and then go straight out with a nut to tighten this thing up so I can get it tight. So, but there's that part. The front, I think, is finally done on this thing. Now I'll put this shaft up there. Well, first I'm going to weld this up so this is done. I don't want to have to deal with this anymore, so I'm going to weld this all up, get this done, bolt it back in here, probably paint it black, and that way this part's all done. I don't have to come back to this. Other than I can't really paint it black because I'm going to have to weld something on here. So anyways, that's where we're at. So there's the front of it. So let's keep working on it. Well, we got ourselves an update on this thing. So anyways, haven't filmed very much of it, but we have got the pump mounted, which I basically braced it off of my rear bearing mount. Come up here to the back of the block or the head, bolted into them, built this bracket, come out and mounted a hydrostat pump right there. So there's that part. Also got the rear of the PTO fixed. Made. Here's the gearbox. Here's the mount for it. There's the hydraulic motor. So that bolts on there. Gearbox bolts onto the other side of that. And and that all gets bolted right to the back of the tractor. Right here. So I'm gonna bolt it in here. It's bolting into right here instead of in there for right now. I am going to probably do something different down the road, but right now I don't need the 3-point, so I'm not worried about the 3-point working. So for right now, we're just getting a PTO back here so I can pull this mower. So that's where we're at right here. I'm basically just piecing things together. I ran the hoses down off that motor or that pump, and they come out right there. And then we're gonna run from there to the motor and underneath this fuel tank. So I'll be back with you here shortly. As soon as I get this, I gotta do a little bit more welding on this shaft. I'm gonna weld these blocks in here. Basically I slide these up right like that, so this shaft, and then weld them to the shaft so this shaft can't slide forward or back. So it's going to be fixed in there because I don't trust them set screws to hold it. So I will be back with you here shortly.